This is the Share the Knowledge podcast for DJs. Today's podcast is brought to you by Bandzoogle. So let's get into that first question. And like I said, this is all about building a DJ career, but at the same time being able to pay your bills. So let's get into that question. And the question is, I've been playing at this club for free for almost a year now, just like you did. I've had a couple of paid gigs throughout 2018 and made good connections. I left my part-time job and decided to go full-time with DJing. I don't want to take paid gigs where I have to play music I don't like and don't enjoy. I'm at a point in my career where I want to build my brand and my skills, but now money is an issue. Can you please talk about how to maintain paying bills while doing what you love, even if it's not making enough money? How did you do it back then when you played for free? So that's a great question, a great topic. So I really want to spend my time on this one and go through everything that was mentioned in this question. So let me just start with that beginning first. He's been playing at a club for almost a year now for free, just like I did. And he mentioned that. This is something that I've told many times on YouTube and also during the podcast episodes. At the beginning of my career, I was given the opportunity to play on a weekly basis at a jam session for free. I would DJ in between the band sets and I would play like the last part of the night. And this was not like a long night, but every week I would have a couple of hours. Now, to me, this is still one of the best decisions I ever made because during that time I did not have a lot of gigs. And look, you can practice all day at home, but you're not going to learn the things that you can learn when you're playing in front of people. And during my time there, I learned so much, and that experience is priceless. So let me just sketch the scenario real quick. This was a weekly jam session. They would have live musicians. They would have vocalists. This was really like an R&B soul funk type of vibe. They would sing like some of their own songs. They would freestyle. They would jam. And I would play in between. Now, mind you, at that time, my crates were 85 to 90% hip hop. And the other 10 to 15% was R&B, maybe a little bit of soul funk and 2 dancehall records. I did not have a hip hop crowd. So they liked R&B soul funk and they didn't mind a bit of hip hop, but it was not a hip hop crowd. That means that I really had to learn right then and there on the spot how to entertain a crowd like that. So I had to know my music and I would find every hip hop track that would have like the R&B-ish hook in there. I would look for every song that had like a lot of like soul funk samples, a lot of the more melodic stuff, anything that I could use to entertain and rock that crowd. And I had to learn how to read that crowd and test tracks. So I would play a track. Yes, it's working. Let me find something else in that vibe. Or no, it's not working. Okay, let me try something else. So that was a great learning opportunity, and I learned a lot. So that's all good, and it's a good thing you did that because I can bet that you learned a lot doing that. Now, you also had a couple of paid gigs in the last year. That's pretty cool, but here's the part I want to get into. You left your part-time job because you decided you want to become a full-time DJ. Those two things don't necessarily go together. You can become a full-time DJ and still have a part-time job. Let me explain. I know plenty of DJs, especially back in the days, that I would see on the weekends. They would have gigs every weekend, but they had a 9 to 5. And I mean, I knew a lot of DJs who would do that. They would have the safety, security of a 9 to 5, and basically they had a paid hobby in the weekend. Now, they were professional DJs. I mean, they really knew how to play. They were getting paid for their gigs. But DJing was not their main thing like that because they still had their job. So you don't have to quit a part-time, not even a full-time, a part-time job because you want to become a full-time DJ. And more importantly, how are you deciding to become a full-time DJ when you hardly have gigs right now? See, the more logical approach would be to keep a job. So that could be a part-time job or a full-time job. And at the same time, you still have enough time to build your brand, practice your skills and all that. Once you start to get enough gigs, that's when you can even consider to stop working and to DJ full time. Because yes, you have bills to pay. So it doesn't really make sense to cut off the thing that is earning you your money right now to start doing something that's not bringing you the money right now. So I hope you understand what I mean by that. So if you're following this and if you did the same thing, let me know in the comment section down below how you approach that situation. But to me, that is the more logical approach. Now, I'm going to skip to the end of the question because your question was also how I did that back then. I was in a different situation because at the time that I had that gig for a year, I was still living at home. Now, that means that I did not have a lot of the responsibilities and bills that come with living on your own and having to pay for a lot more. So for you young ones out there that are in a hurry to leave the house and get away from your parents, if your relationship with your parents is good, I would not be in a rush to get out of the house as soon as you turn 18. If you can stick around for a couple of years longer, and that means that your bills stay lower, that will give you time to, in the meantime, hopefully build your brand and build your DJ career, and maybe then you can move on. That's just my opinion. I know some people totally don't agree with that. Now, look, if your relationship with your parents is not good, you want to get out of there as fast as you can, I understand. But if that's not the case, it could be a very good situation to stick around for a little bit longer. So I hope you understand my situation was a little bit different. Now, when it comes to choosing to go full-time, deciding to become a full-time DJ, in my case, that decision was never consciously made. This is something that really naturally happened. So I had paid gigs before I did that free gig. I just didn't have many paid gigs. During the time that year that I had that free weekly jam session gig, I also had a couple of other paid gigs as well. So the paid gigs did start to come. I was promoting myself heavily through mixtapes that I was like selling on the street. They were being sold at a couple of stores. I was making a name. At the same time, I was also starting to do shows with Brainpower. I mean, we're in year 21 right now. So I started to also get a little bit of notoriety as being like a tour DJ. And we would practice for our performances. So that started to take up time, doing gigs with him, getting paid for those gigs. I started to do my own events with other DJs, and that started to take up a lot of time because we were organizing the events. At that time, we did not have the internet, so we would spend a lot of time on promotion, meaning I would spend 3 to 4 days a week standing outside of clubs at closing time to hand out flyers. We would design our own flyers, print them up, and then we would go to all the venues where people would go that liked the same type of music we were playing, and we would be handing out flyers. So we would stand outside the club at 4 a.m. and we would be handing out flyers. So doing all of those things together really didn't leave a lot of time to do anything else, and the money slowly but surely started to come in. So my actual career and becoming a full-time DJ, it basically just happened to me. This started out of passion. This was something I just loved doing. And if I didn't make a cent with it, I would probably still be doing it. But I would have to find something else to take care of the financial situation. So if my career did not go the way that it did go, I would have to find a job and I would be DJing at home in my spare time. That's just what it is. So look, there's another thing in there. You just said that you're at the point of your career where you want to build your brand and skills. I don't truly understand that statement either, because if you're just at home having fun, you're still practicing your skills. And if it's something you love doing, you're still constantly trying to become better. There shouldn't be a point in your career where you're deciding that you need to work on your skills. Building your brand, that is a decision that needs to come to you. In the beginning, you're just having fun. If you want to take it more seriously, yes, you have to understand that you have to treat yourself as a brand. So I understand that part. That is something you can truly do while you have a job. We have the internet nowadays, and that allows us to do a lot of things that we can do at any given time. So it's not something you need to be doing in the daytime. You could do that after your job, after school, whatever it is. But the most important thing here is if you have financial responsibilities, you have to make sure those are taken care of while you're also building your DJ career. So if that means that you have to take a part-time or full-time job, depending on how much money you need to earn, you need to make sure you do that, but you will still have plenty of time to work on your DJ career. And if you ever get to the point that you can tell, like, okay, I have so many gigs rolling in right now, I have more than enough gigs to pay all my bills and then some, then you can decide if it's a good idea to quit that job and just do DJing. That's the safest way to go about it. And this is not about playing it safe and not taking risks. You can't take risks, but if you have responsibilities, you have responsibilities, and you have to take care of those as well. So I hope that helps you out. And if this is something that applies to you, so if you came to a certain point where you could tell that it was now time to quit your job and just go all out into DJing, let me know in the comments section how that went. Really share your stories, because those stories can help people out as well. Not everyone started from the same situation, so it would be cool to hear how you did it. You just checked out a video clip from my Share the Knowledge podcast. I hope this video brought you some value. If you like this video, make sure you like it and share it. Share the knowledge. Now, if you want to check out the full audio episodes of the podcast, you can do that by following the links in the description box down below to check it out on Anchor, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, you name it. If you're new to my YouTube channel, I do a lot of DJ related content like tutorials, tips and tricks, interactive scratch sessions, product reviews, you name it. So consider subscribing and activating notifications so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. I want to thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.